fastest bowlers to have ever applied their trade towards this beautiful game. The same man responsible to bowl the second fastest delivery in the history of cricket, the third highest wicket taker in the 2007 World Cup. This man is an absolute freak. He's been scaring batsmen ever since his under 14 days, and he's a gem of a person. He's a gem of a bowler. And you know what? He also has a very solid Indian connection. He's actually an overseas Indian citizen after getting married to Mashoom Singha, a very successful model and now a wine entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for a very special, for a super talented, super express, Mr. Shaun Tait. Very good evening to you, Shaun.
Yes, good evening to you as well.
Yeah, and this is going to be like double whammy, double bonanza today, ladies and gentlemen, because the party is not over yet. Alongside Shaun, we also have another special man who's actually played with Shaun back in the days for the Rajasthan Royals. He's also represented the Royal Challengers Bangalore. And you know what's very special about him? A lot of people don't know that though. But he's actually the first man to take 50 T20 wickets in professional cricket. When the world wasn't playing T20 cricket, he was playing county cricket in England, domestic cricket in England. And he's the first man responsible to take 50 T20 wickets. So we like to take this opportunity to welcome Shaun Tait and Nayan Doshi. Let the games begin. Very good morning to you, Nayan. How are you?
Hey man, how you doing?
So Nayan, how's it going, Nayan? Are you okay? All good? All well?
Yeah, good, as good as can be. Yeah, everything's okay.
So Shaun, first of all, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and also like to check with you. Are you okay with the COVID-19 around? Is your family safe? Is everything okay?
Yes, everything's fine at the moment. The good thing about Adelaide is there's the cases are dropping and obviously there's fewer people here, so it's a little bit easier to keep in control. And we live in the Adelaide Hills, so we're sort of away from the city. So it's okay for now, yeah.
That's good. That's good. So Shaun, whenever I think about you, my first memory goes back to 2010, Australia versus Pakistan, that over to Imran Farhat. I think the first delivery was up about 156, the second one was 158. And then you bowled above 100 miles an hour, which was the second fastest delivery recorded in the history of cricket. So, I remember a very interesting thing before that. Brad Haddin was behind the stumps and he was speaking to the commentators and he actually predicted it to be one of the fastest deliveries. So, so how did that happen? And was there something different in the air that day? Did you have this chip on your shoulder that, okay, I am going to bowl the fastest or one of the fastest deliveries today? Because in the first over, you were all guns blazing. So if you could just take us through that over and what was in your mind?
Yeah, I think, so there's certain, for a fast bowler that's bowling around that sort of pace, I suppose, I think it's one of those things where everything has to go right on the night, on the day or the night. And it was one of those times where my adrenaline was really pumped up. There was a big crowd. I think it might have been, 50, 60,000 people at the MCG. And I just felt strong. And it was one of those nights where I just felt like I was going to bowl really fast. And that doesn't come around too often in your career. There's only a few occasions when you know that you really got a chance to bowl around the 160 mark, maybe. And once I bowled the first ball and it felt really good and the pace was up, I thought, this is a good chance to have. I probably got one over where I can really give it a go. And I just had a crack and I didn't get a wicket though on that.
But you got 3
wickets
in that game, I think. You finished with 4 overs, 14 for 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, in the game I got 3, but that over I didn't get any. But still, it was good fun. It hurt a lot. It hurt my body a lot, but it was good fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. Shaun, since a lot of Indian viewers are going to watch this very soon, I wanted to probably reflect on your Indian connection. I believe you're an overseas citizen of India now, and you have a lovely wife who's also a wine entrepreneur, Mashoom Singha. In a lot of interviews, I've heard you quoting that you love to spend a lot of time in Mumbai. Mumbai is your second favorite city. So tell us about it and your connection with Mumbai, your connection with your lovely wife who you met at an IPL after party, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did. It was 2010 IPL, and I was playing for Rajasthan, the Rajasthan Royals, and Yeah, she was one of the models doing the fashion parades. After every game, we'd have these fashion shows and parties, and she was one of the models. And over the course of the next few weeks, we just got chatting at these certain after parties, and I suppose it sort of blossomed from there. So yeah, I've got an OCI, so I can come and go to India whenever I please, which is good.
Yeah.
I've spent lots of time in Mumbai in the past, and obviously in the future, going to look to spend a lot more time in India and in Mumbai particularly. I think, you said Mumbai is my second favourite city. I think it might be my first favourite.
Wow.
But it's certainly up there anyway. It's certainly up there. I've got a lot of great friends and obviously my and family now that live in Mumbai. So yeah, enjoy going there often.
One friend is right here, Nayan.
Yes. He's stuck in
Hello,
Mumbai
mate.
at the moment. He can't leave.
So Nayan, tell us an interesting story, Nayan, if you can. Like, something about you and Shaun, a good moment, a good incident, maybe?
To be honest, I think we have quite a few of them. I think what we do is we find each other's company very, very entertaining, and we can kind of just be ourselves, all the time. I think, I guess, I mean, God, there's a lot of like very good memories. We have them all the time, lots of funny things. I think because we can just kind of be as free with each other as we want, sort of thing, that we end up just making fun of each other the whole time, which is very, very entertaining. But there's a few memories. I think one funny one is, which we made. I would say we made it kind of funny. It wasn't a funny situation, but I think we just when was it? I think Tatey, was it Kochi Tuskers?
Yeah, you're talking about our great partnership.
Yeah.
It was Kochi Tuskers in indoor. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think Nayan, I remember you telling me about it when both of you didn't score a lot of runs. Am I right?
I think that's quite harsh, because I feel like I did majority of the scoring.
I got 0. I got 0 in 12 balls. And did you get? I was holding anchor because he was going. He was.
I was going berserk
crazy.
at the other end. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was holding anchor. I was getting back and across, and he was, hitting
Stepping
over
away.
the top. But yeah, we just there's loads of things. I think it's not one particular thing. I think it's just many things over time. But I think we're pretty relaxed like that. And we've been very fortunate, because you don't really make a lot of close friends in cricket.
Yeah.
After you finish playing, which become actually friends for the rest of your life, and you treat amongst your best mates. I think that is very, very rare. And yeah. Very lucky.
But Nayan, maybe you haven't finished playing till now. The first man to take 50 T20 professional wickets. I personally feel that you still have it in you. And, but we'll leave that for another video maybe. Can Nayan Doshi make it? So, yeah.
Well, it would be good. I'm planning to. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely. So coming back to you, Shaun, I think the year 2004, you'd won the Bradman Cricketer of the Year award. You had 30 wickets in the Sheffield Shield at a bowling average of around 28. So, so how important was that in your career? I mean, to shape you up, because you made your debut in 2007, I guess, and that happened in 2004. And Australia was dominating world cricket, during those days. Even at the junior level, to get a ticket in the team was quite difficult. And you did really well. You won the Bradman Cricketer of the Year award. So how impactful that particular moment was to shape up your cricketing career?
Yeah, I think, look, I actually debuted in 2005 in Test cricket, but I debuted 2007, right. I think might have been one-day cricket anyway.
Yeah.
But it was, I think I won. But I think when you win an award like that, I suppose it just gives you confidence.
You debuted
That's
in
all.
2005
awards. What's that? Sorry?
You debuted in the Ashes, 2005 Ashes. Am I right?
Yeah. So, but awards are awards. But I mean, I suppose at the time it just gave me some confidence to know that I could mix it with the best players in Australia in domestic cricket. it certainly didn't mean anything towards international cricket. But yeah, as a young person, I suppose just a bit of recognition, knowing that you're performing and you can perform against men fairly consistently. I think that was important for that. And I suppose a little bit of exposure as well around the country. But you know, that was a long time back now. It feels a long time ago as well.
You know, I read somewhere that the first time you broke the stumps was during an under 14 match. So you know, so you've been you know, your speed, it's a little different because fast bowlers usually, you know, mature at a specific age. You know, they don't start fast. I mean, you know, they take time to build their body, make their shoulders. But I think you know, since your younger days, you were bowling super fast.
Well, I think I was a pretty big kid, I suppose. I was probably bigger than most of the kids I was playing against. That helps. But you're right. You certainly, I mean, your pace levels certainly get, you know, as you get older, you reach a certain point where I sort of remember back now. For me, it was probably about 17 years old when I really thought I could bowl, you know, good pace. And you know, I was playing country cricket in Australia back then, and I was quicker than most of the kids. But then you go down to the city, you know, to Adelaide, and then you play for the state team, you know, the under 17 state team. You play against all the other states. You realise you're sort of back with the pack a little bit. But yeah, I think when I got 17, I got a bit stronger, and I knew I could sort of touch the 140 mark maybe around that age, 17, 18 years old. So that was my time. Yeah.
Fair enough. And it was a wonderful time. It was very entertaining for all of us. In fact, you know, us cricket fans, just the sight of you streaming in, you know, and bowling like Jeff Thompson did back in the days. You know, it was a wonderful sight to watch. And you know, I've been an avid follower personally. Rajasthan Royals, I've been there for so many games, and it's an absolute pleasure to you know, to host you for an interview this afternoon, Mr. Tait. You know, let's talk about the 2007 World Cup. I believe you were the third highest wicket taker after Glenn McGrath, and I think it was Muthaiya Muralidharan, right? So how was that entire experience? I believe you had a successful campaign, the 2007 World Cup.
Yeah, certainly did. I think actually yesterday I saw on social media was the 13-year anniversary of the victory, the 2007 win for Australia. So there you go. But yeah, 13 years ago. Wow, it's a long time now. But I think that was probably the biggest moment of my career, especially I think I was 23, 24 years of age. So yeah, I mean, to be part of a World Cup winning team was, you know, it's close to the top one or two highlights of my career. And obviously playing with the players of that caliber in that team, I learned a lot. I learned a lot off the field, whether it was training or just having a good time with the teammates. And obviously on the field, I learned a hell of a lot, and playing in those conditions as well. So, you know, it was a wonderful time. Remember it really fondly.
Yeah, and Australia is used to winning World Cups, right? So you guys.
Well, we used to be.
Yeah,
you used to be.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm sure
it's getting a little bit thinner nowadays, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. But I mean, you just didn't win one World Cup. 2015 was yours, right? So maybe you'll get back to winning ways soon.
I think so. You know, that's, you know, the good thing is if you've got one team, you know, or one or two teams dominating international cricket all the time, it can get a bit stale and a bit boring. So now we've got, you know, obviously India are a powerhouse. England are showing obviously that they're the real deal. New Zealand are always thereabouts. Obviously Australia are on the improve again. So when you've got, you know, 4 or 5 really good teams that can win any tournament or any test match, that's a great thing for cricket.
Yeah. So do you think, since you said 4 or 5 good teams, do you think that's also going against cricket? Because, you know, the World Cup is getting restricted now to 10 teams. The big 3 are competing against each other. I mean, if India or Australia play in any other team, India, England or Australia, if they play any other team other than, you know, these 3, then the level of competition decreases. You know, test matches are getting over in 3-4 days. So do you think, are you in favor of a 10-team World Cup, or do you think just to globalize the sport a little more, there should be more teams involved? Because I was talking to the Netherlands coach last week, Mr. Ryan Campbell, and he was really upset about a 10-team World Cup. A lot of associate nations are really upset about this. So what's your opinion on this? And Nayan, I'd also like to have your opinion on this after that.
You know, I was going to say Doshi would have his opinion on this as well, but it's actually a tough one because I must say I don't like sitting on the fence, but I'm sort of on the fence in the fact that the World Cup can go for, when you're watching a World Cup on television, there's a lot of games where you got Australia in their prime were playing against what we call minnows, and they were sort of very one-sided games. And okay, there was the odd game where a minnow nation, say, might have beaten India or Pakistan or Australia, but a very odd occasion. So I suppose the length of the tournament was a bit of an issue, and the first two weeks, maybe 3 weeks of the tournament, was sort of getting to the stage where the better teams were playing against each other. So entertainment-wise, I think the 10-team tournament is better because we can only go on the last World Cup. And I think the last World Cup in the UK was fantastic. It was a great spectacle.
Yeah.
The pitches were really, really good. And the competition was excellent. So there was never a dull moment during that World Cup where, I agree with what, someone like Ryan Campbell's saying. To globalise the game, it's better that they're involved. I think for now, in my opinion, the T20 World Cup can maybe stay like that. But the 50-over World Cup, you can't let one-day cricket die. It needs to be a high level of competition.
Yeah.
So I think maybe T20 cricket for now, the lesser quality countries can maybe find avenues through that. And if they continue to improve, then we look at maybe adding 1 or 2 teams to the 50-over World Cup. Dosh?
Fair enough. I think that's a good solution. That you give them an opportunity in T20. If they do well, you take them to ODI cricket. Nayan, I like your opinion as well.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think, instead of 10, what they can do is maybe increase it, say 2 teams sort of every World Cup, get them involved in playing other smaller tournaments with bigger countries. So those teams get exposure, because how do they improve? By getting exposure, But I agree with what Shaun said about, in the T20 stuff, get the sort of smaller, less experienced nations involved. So they get better, because the only way they're going to get better is by playing against better opposition, And I also think if it's possible to sort of get these smaller countries to take part in future World Cups, is if boards can kind of accommodate them in domestic competitions, So for example, their 50 over or the T20 competitions, if they can just, each sort of country accommodates 1 or 2 smaller teams, they could also improve.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys feel about that.
It can help the sport grow places, because cricket is officially the second most popular sport in the world right now. But then that's also because India. I mean, there are so many people in India. Population is so vast. So so it's time to evenly distribute the game. Is what even I feel. Yeah, absolutely. So Shaun, coming back to you, I have a quote here which I'm going to read out. You said, once you quoted, the worst thing I have probably ever done is to sledge Tendulkar. When I went back to Mumbai for a few weeks, and whenever I would go outside, people would have a go at me. And that was the last time I ever sledged Sachin in my entire life. And you further added, if I may just read this out, when I first came to India, Sachin Tendulkar was considered God, and probably still is. It's an amazing thing to become so famous for playing cricket. It's not something that happens in Australia, not only being famous, but literally being worshipped. I've never seen something like that in my entire life.
Story. Look, it's all a bit of fun. It's not a serious sort of quote, but we were playing in the World Cup in 2011, and I was just being an angry fast bowler, and my job was to sort of try and intimidate. Even though trying to intimidate Sachin and Sehwag and these guys was pretty much it's hard. It's not going to work against players of that quality. But I still went about my business, and I think I said a few things to Sachin to try and put him off his game. It didn't really work, but I think it was obvious on the camera. If you're watching on television at the time, the camera was showing me, and clearly I was sort of having a go at Sachin. He didn't respond. He's cool, calm, and collected as usual. But then obviously my wife is from Mumbai, so when the tournament finished, I went back to Bombay, and I went to a friend's engagement party, and I remember being at the front waiting for the car to come and pick us up at the end, and some guy started hurling abuse at me. Another time we went to a bar, and I was walking up the stairs at this bar in Mumbai, and this guy was he was halfway through his dinner, and he gets up off his table, and he starts yelling at me. His food was going all over my face. And he's saying, you're nobody, and Sachin Tendulkar's God. How dare you abuse him? So that was, it's all a bit of fun. And that was two
Yeah,
occasions I can remember. This is weeks after the tournament, people still fresh in their minds. But look, we all know, obviously, Sachin's fame in India, and even to play against him was fantastic. But it was just it was really revealing, just showing how passionate the people in Bombay were about Sachin.
Yeah, yeah. But I see even you have a lot of gratitude towards him overall, right? As per your statements, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think any good player, any player of that quality, and if you get a chance to play against them, I suppose it's something you always remember. But when I was playing for Australia and someone's playing for India or wherever it is, it's on the field. It's a battle. It doesn't matter who you are. It's a battle. You show some respect. But off the field, I'm obviously happy to have a laugh and a chat with anybody.
Yeah. So Shaun, did you because you bowled so fast, just trying to get inside the mind of a fast bowler. At times, did you actually feel that you're scaring a batsman when you were? How much of a mental impact it is when Shaun Tait is steaming in and somebody is on strike trying to, the first over, the new ball in hand, it's swinging a mile, and you're steaming in. So did you also enjoy? Did you somehow know that, okay, I'm going to scare this dude? So did you know that that's happening?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell sometimes, obviously. I mean, that most batsmen don't want to face deliveries around 150, but I mean, most of the time, if you're talking about scaring people, it's more so the tail enders, the guys like myself and Nayan. But I do remember an occasion in the nets in Jaipur when we were playing for Rajasthan, and I think it was just a warm-up ball off a couple of steps to Dosh, and I rolled my arm over.
Did I break your bat? I break your bat because I hit it so hard, the bat broke.
60 kilometers an hour. And you missed it.
Did I break your bat?
I think you did. Did I break my bat as well? You did.
Yeah,
yes.
I break your bat because I hit it so hard, the bat broke.
Yeah. So it's all fun, but obviously intimidation is a big part of fast bowling.
Absolutely. So, Nayan and Shaun, now we're on to the last segment. This segment is called The Last Over.
The Last Over.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a quick rapid fire, and I want brief answers, like very short answers. I'm going to ask Shaun one question, and then I'm going to ask Nayan one question. And I've created different sets of questions for both of you. So they're not going to be same questions. They're going to be different questions, right? So the first question, let's begin with Shaun. Question number one, Shaun, is an easy one. Can you introduce yourself in Hindi?
Wow.
Okay, it's not an easy one, but
that should be. The funny thing is, in this lockdown, this coronavirus, my wife is trying to teach myself and my daughter Hindi. And for the last week, we haven't done any of it. We've been so lazy.
Okay, nothing like even my name is Shaun. Like, can you do that in Hindi?
I can't even do. How embarrassing! I can't. Hang on a second. Let me think. I can probably get this out. I can't do it.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. Mera. It starts with my is Mera.
Mera. I remember my daughter doing this last week about her name. No, I can't do it, man. You have to tell me.
You can repeat. Mera naam Shaun hai. Maybe you can make your family happy. You can learn and make your family happy.
I should have known that.
That's fine. So Nayan, question number one for you.
Yeah.
So you're the first person to take 50 professional T20 wickets. I mean, when T20 cricket didn't even start, when half of the world didn't even see T20 cricket. So who was your 50th T20 victim?
Oh, bloody hell.
That's no idea. You should be proud of it, and you should maybe remember.
Why don't you just go and check your bedroom wall where they're all written down?
Yeah, I will. When you're in jail and you do 1, 2, and then you cross the fourth. I have no idea. God.
Okay, fair enough. I'll figure that out for you. I'll figure that out for you, and I will let you know. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Let's move to question number 2. Shaun, question number 2 is, who was your second ODI wicket ever? I mean, that I think you debuted against England. Was it?
Yes.
So who was your second ODI wicket ever?
Well, it's either I think it's Paul Nixon.
Okay, Roger that. It's Paul Nixon. Yeah, it is Paul.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and Brad Haddin had taken that catch.
I think I got smacked around the park that game. That was my first ever game at the SCG. It was.
Okay. Yeah. So Paul Nixon is the correct answer. You got one right. In fact, you got both right because you made an attempt with your Hindi introduction as well. So Nayan,
You can't
question
give me
number
the
two
first
for
one.
you.
The first one I didn't get. You can't give me that.
So Nayan, question number 2 for you.
Yeah.
Do you know who was the first catch that you took in T20 cricket?
Bloody hell! You are asking me some. Geez. I think it was against Middlesex,
Okay.
and I'm thinking.
You should ask Dosh how many you dropped. That'll be.
See, Nayan, I'm making it a little harder for you.
Sorry, Ponting. Sorry.
Nayan, this might be a little harder for you.
Hold on. Was it Dalrymple?
It was.
Oh wow.
It was.
I remember that because it went absolutely miles up in the air, and I did a backflip and I took the catch. I remember that.
Wow. But Nayan, I have to admit that the questions are more difficult for you because I gave you a heads up about this on WhatsApp. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm making it a little difficult for you. So I apologize for that. Okay, so third question. It's the third delivery of the over now. Shaun, you bowled the second fastest delivery as far as international cricket is concerned. Who's bowled the fourth fastest delivery in the history of international cricket? And it's somebody, a hint is that it's somebody who you know very well.
I think it's Mitchell Stark, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. 99.7 miles per hour. Yeah, it's.
I think the camera was broken that day.
He's always checking stats and stuff just to see who's slower than him. He's always doing that.
but you're up there. I mean, you're above 100 miles.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. Yeah. Okay, so Nayan.
Yeah.
Nayan, so for you, okay, a cricketing moment you will personally never forget.
Cricketing moment. One of the greatest moments for me was actually a semi-final against Lancashire in 2004 when we beat them, and they had an amazing team. They had Flintoff, Anderson, they had absolutely full lineup, and we ourselves had a great squad as well. But beating them in that semi-final in 2004 would be one of the best moments, which always stands out in my career, definitely.
Yeah. So let's get to question number 4. So this is a common question for both of you, and I don't mean to create any controversy, but I ask this to everybody. Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli? I mean, okay, we don't compare different eras in cricket. I understand that, but but if you had to pick one, who would it be?
I think it's still got to be Sachin. I think it still is Sachin for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough. There's no debate on that. I would also probably pick Sachin Tendulkar to bat for my life. So we'll go to question number 5. Shaun, who's your favorite Indian batsman ever? Other than Sachin Tendulkar, other than Sachin Tendulkar, who's your favorite batsman ever? So I'm not talking about Virat Kohli because he plays these days. It could be Virat Kohli also, but I mean, other than Sachin Tendulkar, who's your all-time favorite?
I've always had weird favourites with cricket, but I think that is a very hard question.
Look, you from the Rahul Dravid school of thought?
Yeah, I mean, I play with Rahul. I'm quite good friends with Rahul, and he's fantastic. But I'm just thinking, if I'm thinking right now, I love Rohit Sharma. I think the way he goes about it in all forms. Obviously, Test cricket, he's there or thereabouts, but the other two formats, he's brilliant. So I'm going to say Rohit Sharma right now.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, he can do anything right now, right? Maybe he scores a triple century in ODI cricket someday. You never know.
Yeah.
And what about you, Nayan?
I would go with Virender Sehwag. For me, that For me, I would go with him. He's just unbelievable. For me, he's just freakish, especially what he did more in Test cricket. You know, you would expect him to have been actually a more prolific 50 over batsman, but his Test record and the way he batted against all oppositions everywhere was just unbelievable.
I mean, you know,
unbelievable.
Here's a very interesting joke they make about the Sony PlayStation in cricket. You know, that Sehwag even hits a 6 in a Sony PlayStation, and Australia wins World Cups even in a Sony PlayStation. You know, because because that's how true both these statements are. Okay, so the last question for both of you. Okay, so Shaun, this is for you. 10 to win of the last over. You're the captain of the Australian team in the current scenario. I mean, let's say you're the captain of the Australian team today. 10 to win of the last over. Your quota is done. You hold your 10 overs. Who are you going to turn towards and why?
Pat Cummins.
Pat Cummins?
Pat Cummins. Yeah. I just think he's just. I mean, Mitchell Stark's probably a better Yorker bowler, but and for that matter, I'm a huge fan of Josh Hazlewood as well. But I think Cummins has got better variations. He's got a great bounce. He's got a great slow ball, and he's got a great Yorker. So he can be really unpredictable, and he's probably one of the smartest, probably along with Bumrah and these guys, the smartest fast bowler in world cricket right now.
Yeah. So you know, something really interesting since you took Pat Cummins' name. If you'll allow me to share an interesting story, around 10 years ago, Pat Cummins was in India. And during those days, I was starting out I was a 20-year-old. I'm 30 years old right now. So I was a 20-year-old at that time. I was very new, you know, to the cricketing fraternity. And I was his fanboy. I'm still a fanboy, but you know, but at that time, I was absolutely starstruck. And Pat Cummins was in a hotel in Aero City in Delhi. He was staying in a hotel, and there was a lot of security. We were not allowed, you know, to get close to the cricketers. And I just screamed. I said, okay, you know, Pat Cummins is my favorite, you know, and I'm just going to scream. So I was like, hey Pat, you know, so I just screamed. And then he turned back and, you know, and he specially took time out. I mean, so humble he is that he specially took time out. He basically cordoned off that security area. He got it cordoned off, and he came out to meet me and to meet my girlfriend. You know, he came out, you know, he met us, and, you know, I remember Sam Billings was also with him. Yep. So first for the first 5 minutes, Pat was really nice to us. But because he was nice to us, I thought, okay, let's take some advantage maybe. So I went back. I said, Pat, can you also make me meet Sam Billings? You know. So then he came out again, and he made sure to you know, introduce us to Sam Billings. And as a 20-year-old boy, during those days, I would never forget that gesture. You know, that was something really kind and really sweet.
He's a lovely bloke. Yeah. Yeah,
he is. Yeah, so I think Nayan, the final question for you of the last over is: do you think? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm putting it directly, and you can choose not to answer it. But do you think that you could? Because that's what I mean. As far as our conversation has been, I believe you want to play, and you feel that you could play international cricket or at least domestic cricket again.
Definitely feel, if given the opportunity, I could definitely play professional T20 cricket again. And if I can do that, who knows what can happen. But yeah, I definitely believe in myself if given an opportunity that I can even come back stronger than I was, because I've learned from mistakes and I'm more experienced, older and wiser. And, you know, and yeah, just I'm...
Yeah. You know, Nayan, just trying to get into a cricketer's mind here. At one end, you're sitting at about 41 years at the moment, and you still hope to play cricket, professional cricket again, and I really hope that you do, and I think you will. And on the other end, there's Mr. Shaun Tait, the wild thing, who's 37 years old at the moment, and he's already called it quits as far as Australian cricket is concerned. And we see this with a lot of fast bowlers, you know, because they say the way your body is made, I mean, aerodynamically, the way you bend your back, the rotation of the hand, the movements, you know, which involve, you know, in the entire process of fast bowling. You know, do you think that's true? Like, can you, you know, give some insight on that, please, that why do spinners play more than fast bowlers, and how much of a difference does the body movement, the aerodynamic movements make as far as the career of a fast bowler is concerned compared to a career of a spin bowler?
Yes, because of course, spin bowling, people get it wrong. It is a lot of pressure on your shoulder and everything. But of course, I don't think you can compare the physical stress to fast bowling. Of course, that's a lot more. And especially someone like Shaun, who's basically an extreme. He's one of extreme pace. So it's not like he's bowling 135 miles an hour and just bowling nice outswingers or in-swingers. He's actually bowling, 150 plus. So I think that is, generally you have less longevity bowling at that pace because it's an extreme thing, So definitely, it's a lot easier for me to come back than it would be for him.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Nayan. That was indeed very nice and very educating at the same time. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the last ball of the show. Shaun was also known as a Wild Thing. So, Mr. Wild Thing, if you could probably leave a quarantine message for our audience on how to stay calm when the going gets tough. Some expert advice, please, because you've been in many situations when the going has indeed got tough, Shaun.
Obviously, guys, especially listening to this, at least there's some content still around cricket. So tune in to your stuff and enjoy, because there's not a lot of cricket to watch at the moment. Look, there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, that's for sure. Eventually, we'll get through this. Cricket will be back on, especially in India. The world's going to be looking to India to see what they do with their cricket. Obviously, it's so important for the rest of the world. And look, as far as exercise goes, especially in places like Bombay, you're probably going to be in flats and whatnot. So plenty of stretching, but push-ups, sit-ups, the old school stuff, the old school routine. Keep your strength up. And obviously your diet is so important. Fresh, healthy foods, lots of vegetables, and keep your nutrition up. And Nayan's in Bombay at the moment, so he can probably touch on what he's been doing. But there's plenty of things to do. So keep the faith. And keep cricket in the front of your mind, and it'll be back soon. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ishan Sharma, and we were just in conversation with Nayan Doshi and Shaun Tait. If you guys had fun, feel free to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much. Adios, amigos. And if you want to know more about me, you can follow me on my Instagram handle right here. Namaste.